Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck update of a deck that I've always enjoyed playing, and that is my Stardust Dragon Assault Mode deck. This is a deck that I was so happy for when we actually got support for it last year. It's one of those type of decks that's really... it's cool. It was a cool mechanic back in 5Ds, the Assault Modes. Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is actually probably one of the better ones due to the fact that it was even used doing Dragon Rulers because of its ability to negate stuff. And it's with the new support it got last year, it's been super fun. I profiled this deck a year ago on this channel, and I've played it off and on over the past year actually. And it's just one of those decks that if I'm ever feeling bored, if I ever want to just play a deck that's just pretty much very linear in some ways, this is one of those decks that I pick up because it's very simple to operate, very simple to use, and it can be very powerful in some ways, especially if you're building a turn 1 board. It can be really good. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, guys. Now, saying all that, this deck can go second. I do want you to keep this in mind, but I thoroughly, like I said, enjoy this deck. So first off, we're running 3 Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. It's going to help you negate monster effects, spell effects, and trap effects, depending upon what you want to. This card has been used throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, actually, even in competitive decks. I remember back when, like I said, when Dragon Rulers were prevalent and at their power for probably a half a year, I saw some people teching this card into decks just because it was that good and the ease that you could easily make level 8 synchro monsters. So this was a thing back then. Plus the fact that Stardust is probably one of the better original signer monsters, so it's easy to go for. The ease that you can go for level 8 synchros is what I mean, and the powerful of the synchro itself. Now, saying all that, I know some people like teching in the 1 Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode. Now, that's an okay card, and you can easily go for that. But me, personally, I wanted to build this deck and construct this deck more in a I'm going to negate everything you do type of deck. Kind of like, okay, not protect the castle per se, but hey, I'm going to negate everything you do. You're going to have to break my board, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. And the ability of this deck to be able to stop spells, stop traps, and stop monster effects makes it really easy to do that and protect your boards to some degree. I say that to some degree. There's always ways of breaking boards, right? But yeah, 3 Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, staple in the deck. You can run the 1 Red Dragon Archfiend if you want to. Next we run 3 Psychic Reflector. I'm hoping one day this gets a super rare because this card makes this deck run. Like, this card makes this deck a lot of the time. Just saying. So, yeah, really staple 3 of card in the deck. Just hands down. It's going to help you go for your synchro plays straight up. So, staple 3 of. Next up, we run 3 Assault Sentinel. This is going to help tutor out your Assault Mode cards from your deck, which is really cool. So if you guys don't know what Assault Sentinel does, I want to read it to you because it's one of the mandatory staple 3 ofs in this deck, I feel like. You can tribute this card, special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck that specifically lists Assault Mode activate in its text, except Assault Sentinel. So this is going to help tutor those things out from your deck, which is really nice. In combination with Assault Sentinel, we're also running 2 Assault Beast. Now, Assault Beast, I've seen people run this as a 3 of. I will never run this as a 3 of. I will always run this as a 2 of. But with Assault Beast, what you're going to be doing, guys, is you're going to be using Assault Beast to search out your Assault Mode activates. Now, the cool thing about these 2 cards right here is, don't forget, they are Beast Warriors. What's that mean? That means they're searchable by Tenki. Cool. Also, with Tenki's effect on the field, depending upon how many Tenkis you have, this can become a 2000 beater, this can become a 17 beater. They can do a little bit of work if, that happens. Usually not going to happen, but if. I've won games just attacking for game with Assault Beast once in a while because I didn't need an Assault Mode. But the ability, this is mainly going to be used to search out Assault Mode, so you consider this your 4th and 5th copy of Assault Mode. And Assault Sentinel is going to set your plays up on the field. So that's that. Then we run 2 Summoner Monk. I've seen people run 3 Summoner Monk. That's perfectly fine. You're going to maybe have a couple times some dead spells in your hand. And Summoner Monk is going to help mainly you're trying to tutor out your Assault Sentinel. So I wanted to run this in there for that reason. And mainly for that because I wanted another way of getting my Assault Sentinels out. Not just tanky. I want to get to it as soon as I can just so I can get my play set up properly. So for that reason, just 2 Summoner Monk. It's there just in case. And then there's some other cute little plays you can do with Summoner Monk to do certain things. So overall, I find that it's a pretty good 2 of in the deck. You can run 3 of, but I'm not a fan of it. Hand traps. We're running a bunch of hand traps, guys. Yep. We're running Effect Failure. It's a Yusei deck, right? But no, that's not the only reason. So I'm going to say this straight up. You can run whatever hand traps you want. Alright? You want to run DD Crow. You want to run Nebaru. You want to run this or that. Be my guest. But the reason I'm running these, as I always say, this is what I feel like really helps this deck out. Ash Blossom is generic. It's going to hurt just about everything. And Effect Failure is going to stop a lot of effect monster effects. So say you have on your hand, you have an opening hand, right? Maybe you have a Stardust Dragon Assault Mode on the field, you have an Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler in hand. That's pretty nice. You're going to stop some good effects with that, I would think. For the most part, I can maybe stop a spell and trap, I can stop a monster effect, and I can stop a search. That can sometimes mean pass in turn in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! To some degree. Not always, but it can against certain decks. So hand traps are really prevalent in this deck. Like I said, we're trying to build a board, be it in the hand, on the field, whatever, because I want to stop you from doing stuff. I want to grind you down and beat you into a pulp. That's what this track is trying to do. And that's the reason I'm not too much of a fan of Red Dragon Assault Mode in this version of the deck. Because this version is more of, I'm going to stop what you're doing. Kind of like those old days when you used to have Shien and you protect the Shien. Kind of like that. But not truly like that. 3/5 formation tanky. This is going to help search out, like we talked earlier, your Assault Beast and your Assault Sentinel. So, like I said, you could even consider this instead, like we said, this Assault Beast, that's your 4th and 5th copy. Well, this is your 6th, 7th, and 8th copy of it. That's cool. And it's also your 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Assault Sentinel. So tanky can be just whatever you want to for some of your main plays in your deck, which is really nice. So that's why it's a staple 3 of in this deck, hands down. Next up, we run Assault Mode 0, which is just a one of that I like in the deck, and Assault Teleporter. If you're running the Red Dragon Assault Mode in the deck, I would maybe bump up Assault Teleporter to 2 of, because you don't want brick hands. But in my instance, I just like it as a one of, because in certain situations it could help unbrick hands, which is just nice. And Assault Mode 0 is just a nice one of to have in the deck, which is a newer card that came out. So those are just some one of Assault Mode cards we run in the deck. We also run, for your one of spells, we run Emergency Teleporter, your 1-for-1, your Upstart Goblin, your Call by the Grave, and your Monster Reborn. So why are we running all of these? Okay, let's go down the line here. Monster Reborn. I can bring back dead synchros, dead monsters. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory in this deck. Call by the Grave. It hurts other decks, and it prevents hand traps from interfering with your plays. Why not? If Nobleman came out, you run Nobleman. Upstart Goblin. Make this a 39 card deck. Get to your combo plays, your pieces that can help negate stuff. Why not? 1-for-1 is going to help you guys get to your Effect Failure sometimes if you wanted to do some cheeky little plays. I have done it, but that's not the main reason you're running it, just so you know. It's mainly to help get your side Reflector on the field. That's mainly why 1-for-1 is here. Like 98% of the time. I have had the Effect Veiler pop up though once in a while. Just saying. And E-Teleporter, Again, this is going to help bring out your main monster in the deck, your Psi Reflector, which makes the world go around to some degree. So these here are pretty much here for Psi Reflector. So those are your one-of spells. Now on to the traps. Now don't get upset if we run a lot of traps, guys. Just understand the reasons why. So first off, 3 Assault Mode. Activate. You're going to run 3 Assault Mode activate. You must run 3 Assault Mode activate. I've seen people run 1 of it. I've seen people run 2 of it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a smart idea. So I'm going to be honest with you, from playtesting this deck for over a year and even prior to that, run 3 of it. Next, we run 3 Back to the Front. Back to the Front is a staple 3 of in this deck. It is such an amazing card in this deck because of the ability to bring back synchros, to bring back certain monsters, to help do certain plays. It's really an awesome card. I personally feel like this is a staple in Assault modes going forward because of the ability to bring things back from the graveyard for the most part. As for other traps, we do run some other ones, so don't get upset. 3 Infinite Impermanence. Hey, I don't like your monster effects here. I'm gonna negate them. So, I mean, imagine having an Ash Blossom Impermanence, an Effect Veiler, and a Stardust Assault Mode on the field. What are you gonna do? So, like, more negation. And if you think that's not the negation of the negation, Assault Counter. Now, I understand if you don't want to run Assault Counter. I get it situational. Hear me out. I get it. I completely understand your reasoning of why you would not want to run it because it's situational. And in a way, it's not searchable. But it's too good of a card not to run, in my opinion. Especially in this version of the deck when I'm trying to build these boards. Now, say for example, you want to run your Red Dragon Assault mode in the deck, right? You know what I would do? I would take this out, run 1 Dragon Assault mode, and I would also run another Teleporter card. The Teleporter spell I was telling you about earlier. The Assault Teleporter. That's literally what I would do. Like, I would take this out and this out, run the second Assault Teleporter and Red Dragon Assault mode. That's what I would do, literally. But in this build of the deck, I wanted this card because if you have a Stardust Dragon Assault mode on the field, right? Before you use its effect even, you can negate an opponent's monster, spell, or trap effect. It's a solemn judgment for the deck. Now, you could run Solemn Judgment. Yes, you could. That's a given, yes. But I don't want to lose life points in this deck, really. And I found that this card was really good in the deck for the ability to just negate anything, really. It's Solemn Judgment that's not searchable. And Solemn Judgment is less situational, but you understand what I'm trying to say here. You have your yin and your yang, right? There's reasons for it's good, there's reasons for it's bad. That's up to you to decide. Personally, I did play around with sometimes side decking these out. If I was taking it into a local tournament and putting in Nebaru if I knew I was going to be going second. So sometimes this does come out if you're at a tournament, guys, if you're taking this deck to a tournament and you're going to side deck this out. I'm going to be honest with you there. But for the most part, I really like it because of the fact that I can negate something and then have another negation with my Stardust Assault mode. So I'm going to have 2 negations on top of any hand traps, regular traps, whatever I may have on my sleeve, up my sleeve. You see all this negation and how easily it is to negate stuff against your opponent. So yeah, that's why I like it. You don't have to run it though. Let's go into the extra deck quickly. We have our Stardust Dragon Field Center. Go Yusei Fudo. We have our Signer Dragon token, which I run with all my Signer Dragon decks for the most part. Then we have our 3 Stardust Dragon Assault. Our 3 Stardust Dragon. Yes, that is an ultimate rare Stardust Dragon that I've had since I got started in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Got back into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Around this time frame when Stardust Dragon was popular. That's an ulti rare, guys. Yes, I love the baby. It's not a ghost rare. I was never a big fan of ghost rare Stardust. I was a fan of the ultimate rare. Don't ask. But 3 Stardust staple. 1 Scarlet Red Dragon. Like I said, if you wanted to run the Red Dragon Archfiend, you could easily tech it in and this could be your target for it. Frame Lord Omega. BLs, Void Ogre, you can easily go for these. These are really good. If you're running a Gamma package, this is even better. For your level 7s, we run Quantum Layer, and we run Black Rose Dragon. Yeah, that's a Black Rose Ultimate Dragon. I wanted to profile both of them in this video. Haha! Not trying to show off, I just had these for freaking years. I think this is the first time in a long time I've had them in the same video. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, I'm also running this as a one-of. You don't have to run it, but it's nice. FA Darn Dragster, it's a good card. Formula Synchron, to help you go into your Satellite Warrior, which can be nice. There's ways you can use these combos here. Also Trishula, you can help it use it to go into that, because Trishula is really good. And lastly, we run Christian Needle Fiber. So pretty much, you know, you're running your basic old good synchros. You're running some of your new age synchros over here. And you're also running your Needle Fiber because it's a synchro based deck, and you can easily go for this and do some crazy little plays. So that's all. Like, this is the thing about Master Rule 5. I can run an option that can help make my deck better, and I can still run all my other stuff and not have to worry about making links, which is the reason I love this deck. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Props to Stardust Dragon and Yusei Fuda, right? Like, this deck is so cool to play. And eventually I do want to work on a Quasar deck, but every time I try to work on a Quasar deck, something happens on the ban list, and I'm like, what do I do now, Konami? So eventually we'll get to a Quasar deck profile, but for right now, we're going to be doing the Stardust Dragon Assault Mode deck. So, hope you love it. Remember to rev it up and get your engines going, guys. And going fast, guys, it makes me feel alive, because my heart beats in hyperdrive. Take care, everybody. Good luck dueling to all of you. See you guys next time. Take care.